Hey guys, in this video we'll be talking about AI clones. Using AI clones, you could create an unlimited amount of content for social media. Did you even realize that this is my AI clone you're listening to right now?
Wow, that was so freaking crazy to see for the first time, my own AI generated clone. It honestly was really scary. And I was hesitant to honestly create this video in the first place because technology like this, right? It can be used for really good purposes, but it can also be used for bad purposes as well, right? But then I thought on second hand, this is the way the world is going. Think about ChatGPT and how it revolutionized content writing. Like a couple of years ago, there was no AI writing at all. And then flash forward a few years, and now there's more AI generated content online than there is human generated content online. And in a couple of years from now, honestly, these AI clones, AI avatars, or AI generated videos in general will probably flood social media, flood the internet, and there might be more there's definitely going to be more AI driven content online in video format than anything else not too long from now. So there's a lot of good use cases for this, right? And I'm going to dive into that. But before I dive into that, I want to share with you guys what this video is about, because we're actually going to be using this technology in this exact scenario below. We're using make.com. And if you guys don't know make.com at all, even if you're a beginner, you've never seen it before, we're going to be walking through this whole workflow together, start to finish, so that you guys can, master something like this. But what we're doing is we're going to automatically generate these videos and then publish them online automatically. Now, how it works is we have a spreadsheet like this, and we have 3 different columns here. We have 3 checkboxes in all the columns, right? Every single idea you have will take a new row. And when we have a new row coming in, you can click this checkbox for content. It's going to automatically trigger this part of the workflow, which is going to generate AI scripts and AI social media content. So for example, if you have an idea how to automate 95% of your business with make.com, it will generate that video script for you automatically. And then it'll generate Instagram captions and LinkedIn titles and descriptions for you automatically. And as long as both the script and the titles and the descriptions and captions look good to you, then you can click this checkbox for the video. And when you click the checkbox for the video, it's going to automatically create that video for you, right? So that you can have a video based on the script that you just generated. And as long as you like the video that you just generated, you can click this last button here, which is the post button, and then it's going to automatically go down this third path and publish that video onto LinkedIn, onto X, onto Instagram, whatever platforms that you freaking want to publish this on. It's going to automatically do that in literally 1 second. You have 3 breakpoints here to verify if you like what you're doing. You first approve the content, then the video, then you approve the post, and then at that point in time, it will be pushed onto social media. Now, it doesn't just have to be restricted to social media. Like, you could have this video content for applying to jobs on Upwork. Think about how nice that would be if you could apply to jobs online and you could have an automated AI clone of yourself talking about how excited you are to apply for a particular job. Maybe you want to streamline customer service, right? And provide more of a personalized experience. Maybe instead of having like boring, dry documentation on certain things, you can create these clones to generate a more immersive experience, right? So there's a lot of cool use cases out there for this technology, and it's going to become very commonplace. Now, before we dive in to how to build this out, guys, just a couple more things here. In this make.com scenario, if you click these 3 dots here and you click import, you can actually import this whole blueprint for free. It's in the description below. So just find the link down below and you can import it in. You just have to make sure to connect your Google Sheets account and your Synthesia account and everything, and then click save and you're good to go. And if you guys are new to this channel and this is your first time watching a video from me, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up if you like content like this, and also leave any comments or questions in the comment section below. I'll get back to you as fast as I can. If you guys like this content, I'm gonna be making so many other videos just like this one. So hopefully by subscribing, you will find value in all the other content I produce as well. So let's get into it right now. So there's going to be around 3 different platforms we're using in this particular video. The first one is going to be Synthesia, which is going to turn your text into videos in minutes, right? Very similarly to how they show in this video. This lady's talking. This is an AI generated clone of herself. So we're going to be using this to create the videos. We're going to be using make.com to automate all of the applications together. If you guys don't know make.com, it allows you to automate tens of thousands of applications together. In this use case scenario, what we're going to be doing is having a Google Sheet where you can check off to create content videos and then post that. So if you check column F, it's going to create a script for you, right? Using ChatGPT. If you click column G, it's going to create the video for you. And then if you click column H, it's going to post that video onto social media. So super cool. And make.com connects everything together. And then the last thing is ChatGPT, which is going to allow us to generate the text that we need automatically, which is super cool. So if you guys haven't done so already, please sign up for all three of these. Just a quick note on Synthesia pricing. It is going to cost you, I believe, $89 per month here if you sign up for the monthly plan for this to work. There's also one other caveat here, which is that they limit the amount of content, so they limit the amount of minutes that you can actually produce to 360 minutes every single year. So in other words, you can create one video every single day if it's like a short or a reel or a TikTok video. So it's good enough for one video pretty much every single day. But then also, you know, obviously the pricing is on the higher end for software applications, but also think about the time saved. If you had to do a minute video every single day and you had to set up and prepare, like this is clearly going to save you money in the long term, in my opinion. So once you guys are ready, you can just go ahead and sign up for all of these applications, and then we can just log in. So with Synthesia, there's a couple things here. In the avatar section here, we're going to need to create an avatar for you. So once this eventually loads, Synthesia is actually quite slow as far as applications go. You can just create an avatar up here, right? And you can either upload files or you'll build your own avatar. Oops, I want to go back here. I clicked the wrong one. What you can do is create a personal avatar for yourself. So we'll create an avatar and we'll create a personal avatar. And then what it's going to ask you to do is just prompt you to speak for like 2 minutes. So you'll click next. You can either upload footage or use your own webcam. If you just want to use your webcam, then you can go ahead, allow this, and then it's going to give you a script, right, that you just talk through. So you just click next, and then it's just going to give you this. And then afterwards, you have to consent. So you can't use anyone else. It has to be you for your personal avatar, because they're going to film you and ask you for your consent before you essentially, you know, produce your own avatar. And then it's going to take a day to load. So once you give them that avatar, you have to wait a day before you can use it. Now, the cool thing is that you can generate this in 2 minutes. And after 2 minutes, it's almost all the way there. It's not perfect, as you could see in the video, right? But the cool thing is that it's really, really close. So for example, like if I just log in and I just play this one that I just created here.
Imagine taking a vacation while your business runs itself. Sounds too good to be true? With make.com comma, you can automate 95% of your operations. From sales to customer service.
It says make.com or whatever, so obviously it doesn't pronounce things properly.
Make.com does it all. Free up your time and focus on what really matters. Ready to take the leap? Automate your business today.
So there's some weird gestures. There's a lot of weird stuff going on here. So it's not perfect yet, but in the next little while, this easily could be almost perfect, right? And if I just click into the preview here, it can actually speak multiple different languages. Actually, I take that back. Did you guys know that I could speak Japanese and French and Spanish? Take a look at this.
Hi there, I'm your Synthesia personal avatar. Did you know I speak many other languages? Por ejemplo, este soy yo hablando español. これは私が日本語で話しているところです。Je peux aussi parler français. Incroyable, n'est-ce pas? Ready to make your own video in any of 30...
So I've actually been practicing for the last couple of days here, speaking all of those languages. So I'm just kidding, but that's pretty cool, right? You can translate yourself into multiple different languages. But enough about Synthesia. Let's get into the actual automation here. So you have to create your particular avatar. And then once you've created that avatar, we're going to come back into make.com and rebuild out this scenario from scratch here. So we'll go into scenarios and we're going to create a new workflow here. So at the top right, you can just click create a new scenario, and we're going to start from the ground up. First thing we're going to do is Google Sheets. This is going to be the trigger, and we're going to use watch changes. Now, there's a lot of different things you can do here, but ultimately speaking, we need to make sure that we watch for changes. And the reason why is because this is going to fire when we click things like generate content, when we click things like generate video, when we click things like generate post. So the trigger will be watch changes. Now, in terms of this particular spreadsheet here, I will include this in the link down below. You can just come up to the file and then make a copy of this. And so make a copy here and then paste it into your own account and start using this immediately as well. So it's going to ask us for a webhook, which means that in make.com, to watch for updated triggers, they don't actually have like a native functionality built in to do this. So you have to integrate it properly. So it's not super complicated, but I'll walk you through how this works. So with the webhook, we're going to add a new webhook here. Okay. And you can name this whatever. I'm going to just call this Synthesia, just because that's going to be the platform that we're using, and we're going to click save. They're going to give us this link here, okay? And this link we have to use to connect it into Google Sheets. So essentially what's happening is with this link, we're going to pass it into Google Sheets, and anytime anything happens, it's going to send that response to this personal link here. And what this link is doing is it's essentially directing it to make.com, right? This is their server, hook.us1.make.com. And then here's the unique ID. This unique ID is completely unique to your account and to this specific scenario. So all your other scenarios, they're not going to receive this. Other accounts aren't going to receive it. It's only going to be received in this particular scenario. So we'll copy this and then we'll come into Google Sheets. And we can integrate this into Google Sheets by clicking extensions up here. In the add-on section, we'll get add-ons. You only have to do this once forever if you're using make.com and then never again. So this is a one-time deal here. And we'll search for Make and just install the Make plugin, right? There's a lot of people using it, 283,000 people using make.com. So once you go ahead and install that, you can come back into extensions and you should see make for Google Sheets. If this doesn't appear, just make sure to refresh this page. You'll go into settings, okay? And on the right-hand side in the Make extension settings, we'll just copy this URL, okay? And we're gonna paste it in this website URL. This should look empty for you guys. We'll paste it in here. And then this should also look empty for you guys. We'll paste the link also in the perform an function and we'll save. And that's it, right? That is all that we're doing. We'll click OK. What essentially is going on in the background with make.com and Google Sheets is that they're adding code into your Google Sheets here. You can actually add custom scripts into Google Sheets. And that's probably exactly what they're doing, is they're just adding some code so that anytime anything is updated at all in this spreadsheet, it will send that information back here. Now, there's one caveat to this that I want to mention, is that when you have an update, you're watching for updates in Google Sheets using make.com, you can only have one of these modules set up for a particular sheet. So I can't have, 5 modules watching for changes on this, because in the extensions, if we kind of come back in here, you can only have 2 links here, right? One, and this is where you'd post those URLs. So just keep that in mind. And that's okay, because we'll have like a router here, which will watch for changes in different rows. We'll watch for changes in if they click column F, or if they click column G, or if they click column H, right? And depending on whatever their action is, we'll filter them down to different paths so that we'll do different actions in that particular path. Okay, great. So we can click OK. We'll run this once and we'll just test that this is working. So in this, we'll just click content check, and this should generate us a response. Perfect. You can see the values that we've generated here on the output. So first of all, the value is true, right? So if we come back here and we hover over the value here, it's set to true, right? So with checkboxes, the cool thing is it's either true or false, but because we checked it to true, this will show a true value, and then it's gonna pull in all of the data on this particular row. So we can essentially use all of this data that we have here, like the script, like the ID of the video, like the titles and the descriptions and all of that kind of stuff. So we can see it all itemized by like column A, B, C, D, E, F, and so on and so forth. So this is really powerful because all of we can treat this like a database where all of the information we have on this Google Sheet per video can be forwarded into make.com. Okay, great. The next step that we're going to do is we're going to set up something called a router. So under flow control, we're going to select router. There's going to be 3 different paths here. I'm going to quickly save this down below. The 3 paths are going to be when we generate content, when we generate the video, and when we want to publish that video to social media. So the first path up here, we're going to create the content, right? So how we can simply go ahead and do this is by using ChatGPT. So we'll select OpenAI or ChatGPT, and then we'll create a completion. Okay. And there's also, if I just kind of zoom back out here and we select ChatGPT, there's a lot of different things that you can do here. But in this case, we're just looking to create a completion from our prompt. So we're telling ChatGPT what it is that we want, and then it's going to return back the solution that we are looking for, very similarly to if you just logged into the platform. Okay, great. So in here, the model we will use will be GPT-4o. This is going to be the most costly model, but it's also going to give us the highest results or the best results. Now, just a quick note here, guys, you do have to connect in your account. You can click add, and you just have to enter in the API key or the organizational ID. So how you get there is by going to platform.openai.com. And once you get to this platform, okay, you're going to click on your thumbnail up here and then hit your profile. Now it'll take you to this page, your profile, and you'll see user API keys here. And all you have to do is just create a user API key and then plug that into make.com. And then the organizational ID will be in the organizations tab here. So you can just go to that page and then grab the organizational ID and then paste them in these respective fields right here. Okay. Awesome. So now that you've connected this in, we're going to move over to the tokens, which is the amount of money you're going to be spending on using ChatGPT. The more tokens you have, the longer the length of the output, the longer the length, the more it's going to cost you. I'm just going to put here 1,000 tokens for now, and we're going to create a message here. Okay. And this message is what we're doing in this ChatGPT prompt is we're creating that script that we're going to use to generate the whole video off of. Now, I've actually already created these messages. So instead of me typing it in one by one, I'm just going to copy and paste it and walk through what this looks like. So the first one we have is a user script here. And the message content is going to say, hey, you're a video script creator. You're creating just the words that a character is going to say. You need to create a short 20 seconds. You can put 60 seconds here if you want, but just make sure it's maximum 60. Oh, I mean, you can have it as long as you want, but if we're using social media, it's probably best to keep it under 60 seconds. I'm just going to say 20 seconds just because this is a demo and it's going to take less time to actually render the video. So you're creating a short 20-second video script around the topic that is catchy and will hook the viewer in. So we have our first message here, and ChatGPT will respond to this by giving us a nice little script that we can use. The second thing that we want to use is we want to have an assistant message down here. So we're assisting ChatGPT in understanding what it is that we're looking for. So make sure that it's just plain text and everything you write is something that should be said, right? Don't include things like cut to this scene and then fade out or whatever, right? Because we don't want it to give us environmental cues. We just want it to give us the exact script that we're looking for and nothing else. The next one is going to be another assistant message. And in this assistant message, we're going to, once again, just kind of double down and reinforce, because sometimes when you say it once, ChatGPT doesn't understand. So I always like reinforcing really, really important points here and saying just don't add environmental cues or anything that, you know, we just want to include something that somebody would say. So nothing like soft, calming music playing in the background, you know, as the character walks in and it was a dark, misty night or whatever. None of that stuff. Okay, cool. And then a couple more things here. We're going to have another system. So we're telling structurally the system how we want things to be done. So don't provide any text before or after the response, because last thing you want is to generate a script where it's like, certainly I can create a script for you. And then it starts the script, and then you create a video where it's like, certainly I can create a script for you. And then you publish that to social media. And the first thing somebody hears is, certainly my name is ChatGPT and I can create a script for you. Here we go. And then you're like thinking, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. So we'll just remove any text before or after the actual script that it's going to generate for us. And then we're almost done with this. We also just want to make sure that we provide another message, which is a system message, and we just don't include things like do not include quotation marks in here at all, because this is going to be used to send data to Synthesia. And if we use quotations, it can mess up the code that is required to send, because these are special cases in JSON data or in like JavaScript. Now, we're not going to get super technical in this video, but just when you kind of use these, it might cancel out the intended script, which is obviously something that we don't want to do. So just avoid that entirely. Okay, sweet. So that sounds good to me. We're pretty much good to go here. We just want to do one more thing, and that is create these social media posts. So we want to create the actual like Instagram caption and the LinkedIn title, LinkedIn description. If you want to post on YouTube, the title and description, and the Twitter description as well, right? And we're going to do this immediately. So and just kind of circling back here. So this first step here is just generating the content. And then once we like the content, then we'll go ahead and create the video only if you approve of the content here. And you can change this or whatever in the Google Sheet if you want to make your changes. And then once you change it, then we create the video, and then you can change the video and you can add things if you want. And then once you change all of that, then you can publish it to social media automatically based on the descriptions that we've generated here, based on the video that we created off the description here. So it's super, super powerful. So let's go ahead and let's create this. We're going to use OpenAI again, and we're going to create a completion. Now, also just one more thing, guys, you do need to have a balance in your OpenAI account, like $5. So make sure to add that, or else this is going to fail. I should have mentioned that earlier on. And we'll select a method. It's going to be create a chat completion. So you can just leave that blank. And GPT-4o, same kind of deal here. It's going to be more expensive, but it's going to be better results, especially if you're posting your face in a video to social media. So I'll put max tokens here as 4,000, and same kind of deal. We're going to add multiple messages, and I'm going to copy and paste this from what I've already created before. So the first message is going to be a user. And we're going to say, you're a social media marketer. You just received a 1-minute video transcription, and you need to create a JSON file, right? So the format that we're outputting this to is going to be JSON, and I'll walk you through step by step how to do this in case you've never seen JSON before, you don't even know what it is, all that kind of stuff. Don't worry about it. We'll do this together. And in this JSON file, we need titles and captions for the following social media platforms: Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube. So in this, we're saying, hey, can you please, using this prompt, can you generate all these titles and captions for Instagram and YouTube and all of these platforms, right? So instead of doing this one by one and having like 5 different prompts to do this, we're just containing it within one right now. So circling back to make.com, we need to pass in the script, right? So you can see, so we'll choose the results here from 3. And essentially what that means is when you kind of get to a stage like this, you have access to all the other information from the previous steps before it, right? So in this case, we can grab the result that we got from the module before, because we're asking ChatGPT, hey, can you create that script? It says, sure, no problem. Here's the script. And then we take that script and then we use it here, right? So that we can turn that script into Instagram posts, into Twitter posts, all of that kind of stuff, right? So super, super powerful stuff. Now, the next message that we're going to have is we're going to have a system message here, okay? And in this system message, we're creating that JSON file. Now, if you guys want, you can copy the blueprint down below. And when you paste that blueprint in, all of this stuff is going to be here, right? it's all going to be contained within here, right? So you don't even have to do anything if you use the blueprint, but we'll walk through how to build this without the blueprint. So assuming you don't have this, right? So we'll recreate that from the ground up. And there's a couple steps we need to do here. If you show advanced settings down below, we're just going to circle back to the JSON data here in a second. We need to make sure the response format here is a JSON object, right? So like essentially, we just want to make sure that it doesn't give us plain text. Instead, we're sorting it with JSON. And the reason we're doing that is because if you kind of look at this example here, you can have a list, right? And you can have titles and descriptions and platforms. So we can output in one go the platform, which is Twitter, and then the title, which is the title of the Twitter post, and the description of that Twitter post. I know there's no title for Twitter, but just in case, we're just formatting it as a standard list. So we have a list of posts on Twitter, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and so on and so forth. So that's kind of what we're building here. And then we just want to make sure that we select yes for parsing JSON response. And what that means is that make.com essentially runs on JSON data. Like if you pull in all of these things, all these values, you can like get the result here, you can drill down here, and then you could find the message and the content or whatever. It's going to return the format exactly how we have it, like this. So we can use it in all the other modules afterwards. And that's why we need to select parse JSON, because it's going to give us the formatting that we want. So we're pretty much good to go. Just circling back to this message here, it says, please respond with a JSON array with 4 objects structured with 4 objects, right? And we'll say 4 objects with a platform, title, and description. We'll be using this to create social media posts. So let's go ahead and try this out, and maybe this works, maybe it doesn't. So we'll run this one time. We'll wait for existing data, and we can literally do anything anywhere on the sheet because we haven't set up filtering yet, and it's going to run this. And let's take a look and see the results that we get from the first run. Okay, so if we go into results, we have social media posts here, which is great, right? So this looks really, really good so far. We have our first post on Instagram, and then the title, well, I guess we wouldn't have the title, but the description would be, ever wondered how to turn your leftovers into a gourmet meal? In just a few seconds, I'll show you the magic of food transformation. Stay tuned and watch your kitchen skills soar. Okay, next post could be on LinkedIn, and same kind of deal. We have a description, we have a title, and so on and so forth. Okay, perfect. And the reason why it's talking about food here is because I entered in a title here and there's no idea associated with it. So if what I should have done is change this, and it would have pulled in how to automate 95% of your business with make.com. And then it would have given us social media posts with make.com instead of, Gordon Ramsay's food meal advice over here. Okay, sweet. So that seems good. All we want to do to complete this one step is make sure that we actually tell ChatGPT this exact structure, because what might happen is that, the first time it might label this as social underscore media underscore posts, but the second time it might be like social underscore posts, right? So if you're doing this a lot, it might change up the way the content is structured every single time, which is bad, because if you try and reference social underscore media underscore posts, but it's not titled social underscore media underscore posts and it has a different title, then it's not going to reference it properly and it's going to break the whole system. So how we can make sure that this is structured properly is we're going to come down to that download output bundles, and we will grab all of this, right? Social media posts. We're going to copy this. Now I actually made a mistake there, so I'm just going to go back, and I didn't copy it properly. So we'll go to the output bundle, and I want to grab from this curly brace all the way down to here, right? We'll copy that in, and we're going to load up ChatGPT. And what we want to tell ChatGPT is just make sure that this data is standardized. We're going to replace all of the titles and descriptions with placeholders, so that every time we run this, every single time, it provides us with the same generic keys or results, right? So social media posts will always be written like social media posts, just as described here. Platform will always be called platform, and it'll have Instagram or LinkedIn or Twitter or YouTube. The title will have a placeholder, so it doesn't think that every time you run this, the title should be leftovers to gourmet. It could be whatever it is that we're inserting in here. So let's go to ChatGPT and create this. And if you're not following along completely, you'll be able to visually see it, and hopefully that'll change. Please replace all the values in this JSON data with placeholders, right? And we're just going to paste this in, and it's going to go through and replace all of these values here, right? So now we're just putting in title 1, description 1, platform 2, title 2, all all of this kind of stuff, right? So now when we run this in the future, we're telling ChatGPT, hey, this is just a placeholder. So just change this with whatever the values are that we're looking to generate, right? So we'll come down here and we'll say, please use this example structure below, but replace the placeholders in it with the values. And then we'll paste that in here. Now, the one thing is I actually do want to call this Instagram, and then I do want to have this as Twitter, for example, and YouTube, and then LinkedIn down here. Okay, sweet. We'll click OK. And now that we've pretty much done the first part, we've generated the content. We just want to insert this content back into the Google spreadsheet, right? So that when you come back, it's going to automatically load in that script. It's going to automatically load in these posts here, which is going to be super, super cool. So how we do that is by selecting Google Sheets, and we're going to do update a row, right? So we want to update this row here. Now, a couple things. We need to make sure that the connection is the right one. So coming up here, I'm just going to make sure that I have the connection as the right email. So that's my email there. And I'm going to select the right email for my Google Sheet here, just in case you have like 5 or 10 Google Sheets like I do. It could cause an error if you connect the wrong one. And then we need to actually find this ID. We need to find this Google spreadsheet. And how we do that is by selecting a search method. And I always like selecting from all. And it's going to ask for the spreadsheet ID, which is actually conveniently located in this URL. If you come up here and see where I've highlighted, it's everything before the /edit and after the d/ here. So you can copy that and paste it in here. And then you're going to automatically load in that spreadsheet. Okay, sweet. We're almost done for step 1 of 3. And this is getting pretty exciting. Okay, so spreadsheet name, unremove the map, make sure to select sheet 1. And the row, it's going to ask you, hey, what row do you want to update? And we know the row that we want to update because we actually started this workflow with a Google Sheet. So it's going to pass in the exact row that we started with so that we can reference that and then update the same spreadsheet row. So remember how we started this this automation with Google Sheets? We can find the row from that particular starting module, right? So all we have to do is just add in the row start here, which we found from the first module, right? Because when we updated, let's say row 2, it's going to pull in the row number 2 so that we can reference it to update that same row. Okay, cool. And then we have all of the different fields here from this spreadsheet, right? All the columns, all the headers. So really all we want to do is add in a script here. And we're going to add in a script from this module here. So as you recall, the first script is generating the script, and the second is generating the social media posts. So we need to reference column or number 3, module number 3. You can see it's kind of like shaking here when you highlight over it. So we're going to use the result here and paste that in to the script. And then we're going to come down to the social media posts and titles and everything, and we're going to reference that from here, which is the, I think it's the 4th module here. So with the Instagram caption, we'll come in to the social media posts here from this module. And it's going to give us platform title and description. Now, the thing is that this isn't super beneficial because we can only see one platform, which is YouTube, right? But what happens if you want to reference Twitter or Instagram or whatever? It's not really convenient, but that's okay. There's a nice simple workaround. What we'll do is we'll just add in description for all the description ones here. So YouTube description, Twitter description, LinkedIn description, and then we'll add the title for all the title ones that we want. So LinkedIn title and YouTube title. Okay, sweet. So we have this. And you can see with these, with what we posted in, there's these like brackets, and then you can have like this space in between, and you can put in whatever you want, right? But in this case, we're going to be putting in the index of that particular value. What the index is that we're just finding like which list it is in, or where it is in a list. So if we just go back to the results, it's going to be easier if I visualize this, and we click on results here and you drill down to social media posts, we have these 4 results. So the index for this is number 1, the index for this is number 2, number 3, number 4. So we just have to reference the index to find the appropriate values. So we know that platform 1 is Instagram. So for the Instagram posts, we need to put a 1 in there. For the LinkedIn posts, we put a 2. And then for the Twitter, we put a 3, and for YouTube, 4. So Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube. Okay. Where are we here? Instagram will be a 1. Twitter will be a 2. And then I just got to go back, and it's hard to film and talk and try and memorize all at the same time. Twitter is a 3. So LinkedIn's a 2, Twitter's a 3. Okay, awesome. There we go. LinkedIn is a 2 and Twitter is a 3. So we'll post all of these values appropriately here. And then the last thing here is YouTube is 4, right? And then we'll put a 4 here. So what's going on here is we've created all these 4 posts. Now we're pushing them into the Google spreadsheet, and we're just finding those indexes. So let's go ahead and save this, and then we're gonna run and we're gonna wait for new data. So coming in here, I'm just going to uncheck this, and remember, because we haven't set up any filtering, all these paths are gonna run. So we've created the script. Now we've created the output of the social media posts, and we're pasting that into our Google Sheet file here. So let's take a look at the script. So imagine running your business while sipping coffee on a beach. Sounds amazing, right? With Make.com, you can automate 95% of your tasks, from managing emails to processing orders. Let technology handle the workflow. Discover how to work smarter, not harder. So that's a pretty cool script. I actually like that. And then here's the Instagram caption. Imagine running your business while sipping coffee on a beach. They put in some emojis. With Make.com, you can automate 95% of your tasks, from managing emails to processing orders. Let technology handle the workflow. Discover how to work smarter, not harder. And then some hashtags in there as well. Same kind of deal. We get a LinkedIn title, we get a LinkedIn description here, we get a YouTube title, YouTube description, and then Twitter description as well. So that's pretty cool. Now, if you guys got to this point and you're like, hey, I don't really like the Instagram caption, I want to change some things, you can just come in and you can just update it, right? And once you update that, then we can proceed on to the next step, which is generating the video based on the script here. So this is why it's super cool to have this in one dashboard, because you can update things on the fly as you go. Next step here is we're actually going to generate the video, right? So before we do that, I just want to filter all of these paths so that if we click on, for example, row F, we create the content. If we click on row G, we create the video, which is path 2. And then if we click on H, we create the social media posts. So first path, what we're going to do is we're going to say this is content. And there's a couple values that we need to put in here that have to be correct to pass this filter. So filtering is going to remove anything that doesn't meet a certain criteria. The first thing is, for all of these, is the value has to be equal to. And I like making it in case insensitive, so that whether it's true or true, it's still going to fire in either instance. So the value that has been changed is true. So in other words, if you come in here and you type in that, it's not going to change it, right? Similarly, if I type it in there, it's not going to change it. So this has to be true, which means that right now, if it's false, so if I click this and then changed it to true, but then I unclicked it and I changed it to false, it's not going to fire when it's false too. So it has to be true. And the next thing in here is that I want the column start to be wherever F is. So F is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I want this to be on place 6. Okay. And there's one more thing. I need to make sure that column A exists. There has to be an idea for us to work off of. So if there's no idea, then we don't want to run this automation. So we'll come in here and we'll go to row values down below. And we need to make sure the idea in column A, that actually exists. If it doesn't, it's going to filter it out. So those are the 3 criteria for creating content. Now to create the script, or to create the video, what we're going to do is we're going to have a condition in here where the value also has to be equal to, and this is case insensitive, true. Okay, next one we're going to do in here is the row value, the column start has to be 7. So coming back in here, this is column 7, so this has to be checked, and then it also has to be true. And on top of that, we also need to make sure that the script in column B, right? So this script here is, it exists. So as long as the script exists, then we can go down this path. Okay, perfect. So to create the video, we're gonna plug in Synthesia, okay? And we'll click create a video. Awesome. And just make sure you add your connection in here. You'll have to log into Synthesia and get that API code, right? So in Synthesia, you'll be able to just go into your profile at the top here and click on it and then go to integrations, and that's where your API key is going to be held. So yeah, just go in there and grab that and then paste it into the API section here. And we're going to fill in all of this information. So the scene, you have to grab your avatar, right? So your avatar ID is going to be, once again, located in Synthesia. You just have to click here and then copy that ID, okay? And then paste it right back in here. You're gonna click map here and then paste that ID in here. Now for the background, this doesn't matter for me because I chose to keep my background here in Synthesia. So like whether you have something and you don't, it's not going to change anything. And then the script text is going to be what we generated from this script, right? Which is in column B of this spreadsheet. So remember how we created the content, then we dumped that content into the Google spreadsheet here, and then we can reference that content because essentially the trigger here, once again, is the same, right? So when we trigger this, it pulls in all the row data that we can use, right? And so with that being said, in the row values, we are going to select the script, which is located in row value B. And then script audio, you can leave blank, and script language, you can leave blank as well. And then voice, you can leave blank as well. Style, rectangular, really you can play around with it however you want this to be, right? But this is just an example for now. And then that looks good to me. Test is going to be false, and then the title is going to be column A, and the description is going to be column B, right? So the title we have is the idea here, and then the description is going to be the script here, okay? And I set visibility to private, and this looks good to me. So I'm going to click OK, save this, and run once, and then wait for new data. And let's take a look and see if this works. So I'm going to click G here, which is we're going to create the video, and circling back, we've passed the column, and it has now been successful. It's going to be generating that video in Synthesia. So if we come into Synthesia, it's now creating that video, which is super, super cool, right? But this could take a bit of time to load. So given that it is going to take time to load, the next step is we're just going to dump this into the Google spreadsheet. But this is okay too, just because like when you click approve, as soon as it loads, you'll have access to it. And when you have access to it, you can make all the edits, and when everything looks good, then you can publish it online. But the video will be posted in this spreadsheet so that you can link straight to it. So let's get into how you can do that. In the next module after here, we're going to paste, we're going to use Google Sheets here, and we're going to update a row. one more time. Very similarly, actually, you know what? I'm just going to delete this and I'm going to clone this one. Like the word clone, especially when we're using AI clones here. Okay, sweet. So we're cloning this just so I don't have to do all this information again. The row number is going to be the same. We're going to remove the script here because we're not pasting the script in. We didn't generate that. And all of these we can also remove as well. And the only thing that we actually want to add in here is the video ID and the URL. So if we go into Synthesia here, you can see the video ID, right? So when we create the video, it automatically gives us an ID to that video. And then we also have to generate the URL to that video as well. Now, unfortunately, they don't actually provide the URL, and that's okay, right? Because we can create that URL ourselves. So if we click into this video, you can see that the ID that we received is here. Okay, and then here's the standard boilerplate URL that they're going to use for every single video. So if I copy this and I paste it in here, and then after the slash, I put in this ID here, it's going to automatically take me back to this video. Now, instead of just hard coding it in there and being like ID 123, we're going to paste the video ID so that this is a dynamic field, and every single time you create a new video, it's going to load in the exact video for you there. Okay, we can click OK. And this is going to now paste that ID here. And it's also going to paste the Google Drive link there. So we can try this out. I'm going to copy for now this video ID here. And then I'm going to run this module only. So run this module only just for test purposes. And the video ID, we're just going to paste it in here and click OK. And it looks like we're missing the row number here. So weird. We will, oh, okay, I see why. So what happened was we just need to pass in the row number here. So we'll run this again. We already have the row number, but when you're talking about running this module only, you have to give it the exact field that it needs. So I need to put in row number 2, and then I need to put in the video ID and then run this. And now it should work. And coming back here, we have the ID, and we also have the link to this video. Okay, and you can see it's missing everything after the slash video. So let's just go back here and take a look at what happened. So for whatever reason that when I ran this module only, that didn't work. But given that we put the ID here, what this will look like every single time, we'll circle back at the end of the video when I run through this whole process entirely, it's going to give us this link here, right? So we can open this up, and right from within Google Sheets, we have a link to that video in Synthesia, and we can start editing this video immediately, right? So if you want to do any type of editing here, you can go ahead and do that. So that's cool, right? And then let's go ahead and let's watch this video.
Imagine running your business while sipping coffee on a beach. Sounds amazing, right? With Make.com, you can automate 95% of your tasks. From managing emails to processing orders, let technology handle the workload. Discover how to work smarter, not harder.
Gosh, okay. My voice sounds like deep. It feels like it just went like 17 octaves more deep there. I feel like so much more of a man when I hear myself in this AI. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Okay, so cool. So we have the video there. You can come in here, you can edit it, do all that kind of stuff. Now, let's say you're happy with it and you want to click post to publish it online. We're going to finish this video off by talking about the last step here, which is this step right here, right? How we can take this video automatically and publish it to all these different social media platforms so you don't even have to log in. You just get access all within that Google spreadsheet, and then you can just post it wherever you want to. Okay, awesome. So let's build this out now. The first thing we'll do down here is actually set up the filtering, and this is going to be called publish. And the condition will be, once again, that the value has to be true, and just make sure that the true is case insensitive. And then the column start, where is that? The column start here is going to be whatever this is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. And the last condition is we want to make sure that the ID of that video exists. So this ID here in column C, we need to make sure that exists so that we can pull that in and use that to find that video from Synthesia and then use that. So before we can post on social media, we need to actually get that video back from Synthesia, right? Because you might think, well, I have this ID here and this should work and I have the file. But the problem is we just have to link to the file, but we actually have to download this and post on social media. And unfortunately, you can't just pass this link in and say, hey, Twitter, YouTube, whatever, can you download this file? It doesn't work because they don't have access to your account. They'd have to log in first and then download it. So how this works is, first of all, we need to extract that video from Synthesia. And then once we have that, we have to provide it, we need to provide the video in a way that, these platforms can download it so that they can publish it properly. So we need to now go to Synthesia and say, hey, can you give me this link so that I can now publish this on social media, right? So we'll make an API call down here, and the URL that we're posting to is going to be, I'm just going to actually copy and paste it in from here. Now you can go straight into the API documents. So if I go to Synthesia API documentation, you can see all of the documentation that they have here. And I'll kind of walk you through what this looks like so that you don't have to do this. But if you're technical and you want to see kind of what they have available, then all of it is going to be here. So in this API documentation, if we just scroll down to the bottom here, you can create a video. And then you can also download a video. And the reason I'm talking about this API documentation in the first place, just keep in mind, is because they don't have a built-in function in Mig.com to natively just download the document. Like, you actually have to use their API to download it. They just don't have this functionality built out yet. So we're gonna download this file, and it tells us exactly what we want to do here. So we can retrieve the video from this endpoint. And don't worry, there's nothing technical here. All we have to do is just essentially retrieve it from this URL path here, right? So we're just saying, hey, retrieve it from here. So coming back in here, we can paste their exact URL that they gave us here, right? And this is where we're retrieving it from. And then you can see in the curly braces, it's saying, hey, you need to provide us with the video ID, but you can't hard code a video ID, because if you hard code it, it's only going to ever retrieve one video every single time. You have to dynamically insert the ID for the exact video you want so that we can retrieve the one you're looking for. So with that being said, we need to find that ID, which is located in column C, right? So when we go down this video, we're going to retrieve this ID for the video. The next one will have a different ID, and we'll retrieve that ID and retrieve the appropriate video, and so on and so forth, right? So that's great. And then the method is get. You have a bunch of different methods here. Now, getting, when you get something, or a get method, is just, you're essentially saying, hey, to an external source, you're like, hey, source, can you please provide me with this information? I want to see it. Right? So that's all it is. When you're talking about a post method, you're saying, hey, I want to send you stuff, right? I want to send you information so that you can save it on your end. So a post request would be like, hey, can you create this video? Here's the information. Here's the script. Here's the title. Here's the text, all that kind of stuff. Can you create it, right? So that's like a post. Then a get is saying, hey, I want to retrieve this back from you. I want to find that file. I want to see it for myself, right? So that's the difference between post and get here, just in case you're wondering. But we're going to be using get because we want to retrieve something. And there's a couple of different things we need to insert here. So key is accept, and the value is application JSON. And then we have to have the host here. And then that host is going to be this starting point, right? So this is all in the documentation here. Like, if you just come in and you select from this list here and you go to HTTP request, it's going to say host is this, and then we accept it. The accept has to be application/JSON. And that's essentially it, right? So you're just copying and pasting what they have here. And then this looks good to me. We have the URL, we have the get, and in the headers, you're passing additional information in, which is just saying what data structure this is. And then the host is where you're actually retrieving the information from. Once you click OK, then we can run this module. and we can wait. And by the way, guys, all of this is in the blueprint. So if you don't want to, learn any of this, that's fine. You can just import it right in, and you don't have to memorize anything that I just said there. We're going to wait for data, and we're going to click post here. And circling back to this, we have now retrieved that video file here, right? And the download is right there. So now we've retrieved that video file, which is super, super cool, super awesome. The next step is we need to actually pass this into, first of all, our Google Sheet here, right? But we also want to first download that file and then save it into a Google Drive. Because a lot of the times, and if you've watched some of my other videos too, you'll know that a lot of the times these download links, they're just temporary, right? So this might work right now, but in 2 days from now, it might expire. They might delete this off their server and say, hey, we've hosted this for long enough and you can no longer download it from here. So what I wanna do is I wanna save this to Google Drive. So in order for us to save it to Google Drive, we need to extract that video. And how we extract the video is through an HTTP request. And we're going to download. We're actually going to download a file from a given URL. So we're going to choose get a file, and we're going to paste that download link in here. So let's take a step back here and just think about this. We have a link from Synthesia, right? And we're just taking that link and we're downloading the file, right? So now we have that file in make.com so that we can use that to now upload that file into Google Drive, because you can't just import a link into Google Drive. You can only upload a video. You can't save a link to a video in Google Drive that would be of any meaning to you. You have to, like, of course you could save the link, but it's not going to do anything. And it's, you want the actual file in Google Drive. So we're taking the link, we're downloading that file, and then we're going to use that downloaded file to upload it to Google Drive. So in Google Drive, we're going to upload it, right, into the drive. Just make sure you select the right account here. This is egregious. I very rarely use the word egregious, only in extreme environments like this where you see like 50,000 trillion different platforms. And you just got to put the right folder ID here, right? So for this case, I'm just going to put / to my main folder, or you can just select from a list, and I'm just going to put drive, and then folder location is going to be the main folder here. Okay, sweet. So we have now uploaded into Google Drive, but uploading into Google Drive isn't enough, right? Because when we think about these platforms, we need to provide them with a link, right? And we want to provide share access specifically to these platforms, because a lot of the times you can't share things directly from Google Drive. And even if you could share them and you give them a content link, well, that link that you're giving them is private, right? So, think about all the times where somebody sends you a Google Drive and then they go to bed and you're like, I need to put out this fire immediately. You need to send me the link. They go to bed, and then you try and open and you're like, oh my gosh, you didn't even set the permissions so that I can view this. So now I have to wait for you to give me the permissions for me to view it. And now you're asleep, and now I'm going to be sitting here waiting, and I'm pissed, right? So same kind of deal here. We just need to make sure that we actually give the right permissions to that link so that anyone can view it, right? So circling back here in Google Drive, we're going to do another module, and we're going to share this link here. And make sure the connection is the same. It's going to be a file, and we're just going to map the file ID, which we got from uploading it here. So when we upload a file, it gives us that file ID that we can reference in this field, right? And then the role is reader is fine, right? You don't want people necessarily, I mean, you could change it, but these guys don't need to, like Facebook doesn't, or Instagram or whatever, it doesn't need to update or be able to edit it or whatever. So reader is fine. Then specifically for the type, has to be set to anyone. So anyone with this link can do whatever they want with it. And we'll click OK. Awesome. So that's that. And then we're going to update this Google spreadsheet. So instead of redoing this from the ground up, I'm going to clone this, bring it back down here. Okay. And we have all the information we need. I'm going to delete all of these files here, and I'm going to paste the Google Drive link in here, right? So that we can actually use that. So here we're going to paste the share link, so that anytime you publish something online, you have a link to that Google Drive folder, and you can see the video, and it's going to be accessible straight within this dashboard that we're creating on Google Sheets. Okay, we can click OK. We have the row number of what row to update, so we're good to go there. Now the fun part is actually saving or uploading these into your social media applications. So you can upload it into anything that you want. In this case, I just uploaded it into Instagram, into X, and into LinkedIn. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to add a flow control, and it's going to be a router here. This router is just going to say, hey, go down path 1, then path 2, then path 3. And because we want to upload into 3 different locations, I'll have 3 routes here. First one is going to be LinkedIn. Okay. And we're going to create, oops, I chose the wrong LinkedIn thing here. So it should be LinkedIn here, and create a user video post. And you can see in the file, it automatically captured this HTTP file, get a file. So that is what we're going to insert here. And it's going to automatically take that file and upload it to LinkedIn. And then the title is going to be the title that we created back here, right? Remember how we had that LinkedIn title, we had that LinkedIn description from before? Well, now we can use it and publish it right in here. So you can see all these modules we've created and we're scrolling past. All the way down to the very bottom in row values, we're going to find these. So it's column J and K. I love that together, JK, that's hilarious. And we'll just publish those in. So the title will be J, and then the content will be K. And public, for now, I'm just going to say only my connections, and then feed distribution none, and click OK for now. And then the next thing is x.com or Twitter. So we're going to do Twitter in 2 steps here. So the first thing is that you have to actually integrate your Twitter account into make.com. So before we do that, there's 2 steps in Twitter. There's a update or upload media, and then we have to create a post. So we're doing this in 2 steps. We're first uploading the video to X, and then we're going to create the X post. So in order to upload it, you have to use a different type of Twitter. So up in the corner here, and I know this is like super hidden, but they have this V6 and V5. We're going to switch back to V5, and we're going to upload a media file here. Okay. And you actually do need to create a custom application for Twitter to make this work. And how you do that is by adding the Twitter connection, showing advanced sections, and you need to generate an API key and an API key secret. So in order to do this and get this API key and API secret, I'm just going to type in make.com Twitter, and the first post is going to be this, X formerly Twitter, and then it's going to walk you through how to do this. Just really quickly, you go to the developer.twitter.com. You're going to log into their developer website. You're going to click developer portal in the right-hand corner, click to sign in. They have this whole documentation here. If you just essentially walk through it, you're good to go. But in the developer portal, once you create an account, you should be able to create an app within Twitter, right? So click sign in, describe your make.com use case, click submit, all of that kind of stuff, right? And then from within here, you're going to get approved pretty much automatically, as long as your use case isn't something ridiculous that they don't approve, which I don't know why that would be the case. But you'll just come into your projects and apps, and then come down to this ID here, and then you'll see your keys and tokens right here. And then you can get your API secret key and token from here. This is going to contain both of them. And just when you actually sign up for it, it's literally a step-by-step, follow these exact instructions, and you can just go through and do that. And it's pretty straightforward. Once you do that, you're going to get your 2 tokens. You can insert it here, and you're going to upload a video file in here. And then you have it automatically mapped to this HTTP getter file request here. And then the next thing over is we're going to use Twitter version 6 to essentially create a post. And then we're going to put in the description that we generated for Twitter here, which is in column N right here. So ever dreamed of running a business, from the beach, all that kind of stuff. And we'll come in and map that or reference that from the Google Sheets. So scrolling all the way to the bottom again, all the way to column N, this is going to be the tweet, right? Now we can click advanced, like show advanced settings there, right? Just right here, click that, and then it's going to say media IDs. And this ID that we're generating is from this upload that we just created. So we uploaded the Twitter video, and then we're going to reference in the media IDs. So we're going to drill down here and then select number 1 here, okay? And then this is going to reference that ID. So this is a 2-step process where we first upload the file, which is a video, right? It's going to be a video. We're going to click OK. And I'm just going to double click OK. And once we upload that, then we're creating the caption, and then we're going to reference that particular media ID. And then the last thing here that we can do is we can do Instagram for business, and we're going to create a reel here. And when we come in and select a reel, you essentially just want to select your page here. Video URL is going to be from this Google file share link. And there's 2 links to this, okay? There's a share link and there's a web content link. And we want to select the web content link. Now, the distinction between the share link and the web content link is that with the share link, that's like you're sharing this with your buddies, right? You're sending it to a friend. You're like, hey, take a look at this document, right? And they take a look and they open it up and they can see it. With the web content link, this, as soon as they click this automatically downloads the file, right? So you click it, it automatically downloads. And why this is important is because with these platforms, you want a link where they can automatically download something, not just a share link where they can access it, but something where they can actually download it, right? So we'll click save and we can actually run this out. I'm just not going to post to my my Instagram account here. We'll click save and let's give this a shot. So I'm going to uncheck post here, and then I'm going to run, wait for new data, and then let's see if this actually works. So we're going to post, come back here. So it's grabbing it, it downloaded it, it's uploading it to Google Drive, it's getting the share link. Then it pasted it into Google Sheets, so that in Google Sheets now we have the Google Drive link here. And then in LinkedIn, it's going to create that post in a couple seconds here. And then that's been successfully created. Now we're uploading this into Twitter or x.com. So we're creating that video and then we're uploading it. Let's see, we got an error here. So invalid request, one or more of your parameters was invalid. So let's just kind of come back in here and take a look. So I'm just going to check allow to post exclusively for super followers. And I think that's pretty much it. I'll take a look here and see if there's anything else that I missed. Okay, and we're also going to take a look. Oops, I just didn't save that. So I'll click OK here. And I also want to look at the input here to see, did we get the text content? We did. Did we get the media ID? We also did get both of those fields. So this technically should work. And I'll just make sure that I selected the right one here, which looks like I did. So maybe it was just this one thing here where we didn't give it the proper information that I was looking for. So I'll click OK one more time, save this, run once, wait for new data, and then we'll check this again. Oops. And then once I run through this, I'll just pause and come back when I'm done with that. Okay, so we got it to work. The only problem that I had with this is because I have multiple different Twitter accounts here. I just selected the wrong one by mistake. That shouldn't be a problem for you. Usually if you're signing up for the first time, you're just gonna have one developer account. So that was my mistake here. And this worked and it's all good to go. And we can take a look at the 2 posts here. So here is the first post here, right? Where we have, the description and the hashtags and everything on LinkedIn. And then here is where we have the second post down here, where we're essentially providing this. And once again, if we listen to this with volume, here is what it sounds like. Operations.
Imagine taking a vacation while your business runs itself. Sounds too good to be true? With Make.com, you can automate 95% of your operations. From sales to customer service, Make.com does it all. Free up your time and focus on what really matters. Ready to take the leap? Automate your business today.
And that's essentially it, guys. I mean, that is how you can create a fully, an automated workflow that will automatically generate a script, generate social media posts, and then automatically, once you approve that, generate a video, and then once you approve the video, automatically post that to social media, right? Super powerful stuff. Also kind of scary too, at least at this point in time. I think in the next couple of years, this is going to be pretty commonplace, and you're going to see, I mean, you probably already see a bit of it now if you scroll through like Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or whatever, but this will probably become much more prevalent over the next few years here. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you found this valuable. If you did, make sure to subscribe down below where that nice flashy subscribe button is. Make sure to hit that. It's just calling your name right now. Make sure to give me a thumbs up, and also if you guys have questions or comments, leave it in the comment section down below. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching, and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.